From the very beginning of the film to the very last frame, I was spellbound. That's because the story unfolds in a non-traditional way. The film starts and we don't get a good look at any of our characters. They're all shot from behind and we're waiting for a close-up or an ID shot that never comes. And then we get a title card with a character's name. The film is told via character vignettes, where we see the events of the story play out from each character's perspective. We don't get a good look at the characters in the beginning because it isn't their story yet. These storylines intersect with other characters and we learn more and more about what's going on through these characters' perspectives. At one point, I was asking myself who is going to be the one who pieces all this together. We learn a little of the plot through one character, then a little more through another, and it's never really clear who's going to be the hero. But I was looking for a traditional storyline in a non-traditional story. We, the audience, are picking up clues from each of the characters, and we are the ones who have to figure out what's going on. This is interesting for a couple reasons. First, Krieger didn't have to deal with exposition. Most Hollywood films are told through a central character. We learn with the character and come to the same conclusions as they do. Most detective stories are told this way, like Chinatown and even Indiana Jones. The protagonist is searching for answers and we watch as they piece the caper together and then explain that to us. But why do all that? Audiences are smart. They don't need to be spoon-fed a plot to follow along. The characters and weapons aren't crackpot detectives. They're a teacher, a principal, a contractor. In fact, even the cop says, "I'm not a detective in case you didn't know." He's telling us he doesn't have what it takes to solve the case. None of them do. And solving the case is less important than stopping the bad guy. It's also great because we get so much more character development that would have been afforded in a traditional story. Typically, when a main character meets a secondary character, we only get one side of that character, the side the protagonist sees. But giving each character their own vignette, we get a much clearer picture of their backgrounds and motivations and where they're coming from. I'm thinking specifically of the principal and his husband and the drug addict and his adventures. It's very clever, but there's one more reason why telling a story this way is pretty genius.